Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jasmina from Jasmina Astrology. And today I have one of my favorite astrology friends, one of Judders, if you know my story from Steve Judd, one of my peer colleagues from his class that we still get together every week. And I'm so excited to have Anoo here with me today. Hi, Anoo. How are you?
Hi, Jasmina. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. I'm very, very happy that we were finally able to make this happen. The reason why we are here today, we want to talk about Scorpio season that it's now pending and ongoing, and it can be very hard for many people. And the dark is coming. It's Scorpio. The winter is coming. So we want to give you some astro guidance on how to navigate, and especially this year it's very heavy with Pluto Mars opposition and many other things that are really, really violent and just heavy and intense. Okay, I know. I'll have you first introduce yourself a little bit more and then we can start off.
No problem, thank you. So yeah, just like you said, I'm part of the Judders group. So we've been talking to each other for a good few years now, as part of the group, looking at charts together and just expanding on our astrology. I'm based in the UK. I am still learning astrology. However, I do also have my normal 9 to 5 job as well, which
Yeah.
is with teaching. I did say to you that I wasn't going to reveal my big three just because it's Scorpio season. So
Okay. Yes.
I just want your followers to kind of try and guess if they can.
That's
So
exciting.
yeah, there'll be plenty of clues, I'm sure, when we talk.
Okay. 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 I love a good puzzle. So, guys, if you're up to it, put your knowledge to test. And who is giving you a challenge, which I love. I think it's amazing. Good. We need some fun times as well during
Yeah,
these heavy
exactly.
seasons.
I think we have a similar placement, which yeah. So I kind of hand over the fun to you. Um, okay. So yeah, we were just sort of discussing briefly about Scorpio season, and I think I've seen a lot of videos being made with regards to the time change because it's changed here in the UK, which was yesterday, and already it's starting to get dark. A bit earlier on into the evenings.
Yeah.
And this is also for me personally as well. I find November quite a depressing, down. You start to feel like you are really moving on from Virgo now and going down into the depths into winter. And I don't know, I just feel that, if you can just prepare astrologically for those people who understand astrology. I find it helps you. So for those people who don't follow astrology or are interested in it, perhaps we can give some tips. Because it's not all about Halloween and death and darkness. You
Yes.
have to bring some light into it. So like we celebrate Diwali, for example, that's
Hmm.
bringing the light into the darkness. So I think there's
I
so many opportunities, isn't there, to for people, cultures to bring light into the dark.
Yes, yes, and I know in Christianity and in Catholic, I was kind of brought up that way. We have also the All Saints Day on the November 1st, and then you light up the candles for the past, and it's a nice way to honor the ancestry. But it can be, as you said, it can be very heavy as well because um, it's just the way we think about dark things, and people can go be depressed. It's more dark, as you mentioned, during the and more night and less day, and then you just kind of retreat more in yourself. You kind of get in your thoughts that might not be nice. So some good things about Scorpio season is absolutely number one that I like about Scorpios is that they are such a great investigators and researchers, and they kind of go in that psychological depth. They want to understand how it works, so it can be really empowering, really transformative. That would be my favorite thing that people can kind of lean on and think, oh, what can I find more about myself, about others, the world? What is the meaning of it? I know the Sagittarius often is put as a sign that looks for meaning. But I feel that Scorpios are very the same as Sagittarius, and they do look for meaning as well. Just in the darker corners, not in the in the way the Sagittarius looks. What do you
Yeah.
feel?
No, you're right, because I think Sagittarius, obviously being a fire sign, I think it's the Scorpio has to come first, because you have to collect your thoughts and your feelings, make sense of it, do all the hard work, and then go and be the Sagittarius and go off and, use your energy, your fire, your enthusiasm. So it is, everything's in the right order, isn't it? And this is what I love, and I'm finding myself following the monthly, the cycles, or the zodiac cycles, if you like, because it doesn't start at the beginning of the month, as you know. And also I'm quite moon dominant as well, so I do sort of feel more emotional as the moon goes through the phases, and obviously during eclipse season as well. I just feel, it's difficult during Scorpio season to actually sit with your feelings, and some people get bombarded with the pressures, and I feel that some good advice would be just to not react. And this is advice for me as well, because even this last week I've thought, okay, I could react to this situation, or I could just watch it, let it go, and the energy will go somewhere, but I'm not going to react to it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I know, and we have upcoming new moon on November 1st, and Mars is opposing Pluto. It's going to be exact couple of days later, but we can feel, as you mentioned, you can feel the tensions brewing this whole week. Things are happening. We had a fire in the neighborhood, some flat fire. Like it was all this information that you hear. A lot of I was just watching the news in Croatia. They beat up some people who, those delivery guys who deliver on bikes, and anyway, somebody was not from Croatia, and they kind of there was a massive beating up. So all this volatility and just anger. And so what is the number one thing that I would say for healthy expression of anger, right? So many of us have anger issues, or have suppressed anger, and when these energies are heavy and stuff. So you need to find a healthy outlet. First of all, as you mentioned, don't react. So what would you say? How not to react? Count to three. What else? Do some physical activity. What would be another way to kind of use this energy in a positive way?
I think the main thing is connection. It's like you said before, it's, you're in the dark. So instead of just, having the heavy thoughts or the PTSD, anxieties, worries, there's so much going on in everyone's lives at the minute. I don't think anyone's not affected by something, so connection, just stay connected with someone that you feel safe with, because although we are going to move on to talk about Mars and Cancer, I do feel safety, security, but Scorpio and Pluto are also very much intertwined, I think, with the Mars and Cancer. It all links, with the moon and Mars and Scorpio, Pluto being the higher version of Mars, that energy. So this is what I'm saying. You can go either really deep with your emotions or with your worries and anxieties, or you can try and, reach rock bottom, but try and come back up again. So cling to people, hold on to the people that you trust.
Trust is a big thing. Trust is a big thing with Scorpios, right? So ability to, as you said, to connect with somebody you trust and feel safe with. I love when you mentioned that. That's very important. And traditionally, Mars is ruler of Scorpio. So there's Pluto, modern ruler, and Mars traditional, both in a tug of war, ruling this new moon. And it's kind of like an opening for the whole Scorpio season this year.
It is, but also we can sort of fall into the negative side of that. So we can look at the negative aspects of Pluto and Mars, which is real because it is happening, in as we speak on the news. You take your pick of a story. You
Yeah.
know, there's so much going on. However, like I said, if you can understand the energies and then just
Hmm.
apply it to yourself and say, okay, I'm going to maybe be around someone who I know is a really strong person, and I'm then going to make the
Mm.
effort to use that my energy, you know, in some way to connect, you know.
Yeah, many people struggle with reaching out for help for different reasons. It could be shame, embarrassment, or just not feeling connected. Uh, what do you feel? Who struggles the most from astrological point of view?
Do you mean during Scorpio season, or do you mean in general?
I mean, in general, but specifically during Scorpio season. Because everything is so kind of moody and dark. Who do you feel feels the struggle the most? Um,
Perhaps the water signs
yeah.
will understand it
Mm,
and let the energy flow through them. But Scorpio is the
mm,
deepest, isn't it?
yeah.
You know, the Cancer energy is slightly different. The Piscean energy is different. So I think when they,
Pisces can, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I
this,
mean Pisces can go with the flow more easily than
yeah,
I think Scorpios or Cancers. I think that's but then they turn to escapism. So you need to find a healthy way to deal with this. Happiness not uh, goes towards addiction or any alcohol or any other ways of escapism.
yeah,
Uh, Good news that we have to mention now that you mentioned all these water signs is that we have for this new moon we have actually a grand water trine between Mercury, Mars, and Saturn, and um, I kind of like it because it kind of tells us go with the flow. Don't be, don't get agitated. Don't get, just ignore if picked on, ignore it and then sleep on it. And then because you can go with the flow with this, I think there's an option, way out.
yeah. I agree. I think we're having these trines because we can't ignore how we feel anymore. You know,
Mm,
I just feel that astrologically everything is perfect. You know, even when it's uncomfortable, there's reasons why we're having these trines. And like you
mm,
say, we can just work. You know, we've been in Pluto in Capricorn for so long. People
yeah.
have just work all the time. You know, now you've we're nearing the end of that phase. You know, we maybe this is a good time to have so much water for you to say, okay, you know, this is where I'm at. This is how I feel emotionally. If I don't like someone, I'm going to tell them. You know, it's valuing your feelings. Um,
Yes. Yes. That's a good point. That's a good thing to do during the Scorpio season, kind of acknowledging what you feel actually. Not, don't put it under the table or under the carpet, the kind of acknowledge it and just try to research, understand why do you feel this way? What is, behind, because I think Scorpio needs that deeper that connection, that intimate connection. So but that it can also be that because of that it can be overwhelming for some, right? So I think for
yeah,
water signs, as you mentioned, it can be overwhelming because they're like sponge. They pick up on other people's uh, energies very easily, right? So uh, it's very important to set boundaries at the end, right? Saturn is in Pisces.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I've
So
been doing.
yeah, yeah. So
I
what are your tips for setting boundaries?
yeah, like I said last night, I was just going through my contacts and anyone that's from years ago. You know, Jasmine, honestly, I've even got people who are no longer here as contacts
Ah.
on my phone, and I just thought, oh wow, and that feeling of this number is still in my phone, and I still
Mm,
haven't had the time to, you know, delete it or acknowledge that this person isn't here anymore.
yeah.
You know, so these
Yeah,
things
we
they
need
creep up on you. You know,
yeah, that's very interesting. We need to slow down. That would be another thing. Slow down and see where we are, right? Because this is very actually profound. Um yeah, that's very interesting. Maybe and I should go through my contacts now.
we
That's
are we are in the balsamic
yeah.
phase, aren't we? So I feel
Yes.
such a clear out phase right now.
it can be very purifying. So for you guys who don't know what balsamic phase is, it's just 2-3 days before the new moon. It's the darkest phase of the moon. It's actually a time to reflect, to maybe be alone by yourself and just ponder on your emotions and feelings and thoughts. And it's the wisest phase, as I call it. It's it's the wise old man kind of a feeling. But you need to you know go through what you experience, what you learn from your experience, how to move forward with this new moon on a new grounds after you kind of worked on it. So yeah, that's a very good point. Balsamic new phase, I like that.
Okay, good. What else were we going to talk about? Was I just feel like I mentioned, the Pluto in Capricorn is also ending, so it feels like
Yeah.
we're in this sort of limbo of ending, with so many retrogrades at the minute as well,
Yeah.
and we're in that process of step by step. So we have to go with the energy. There's no way around it.
Mm-hmm.
And then trust in the new, which will it's going to happen, but it's not instant. So as you know, there will be Mars retrograde a few times, which
Yes.
will be by April of next year, won't it?
Yeah. So Mars is going retrograde, I believe, on December 6th. Just before that, we have Mercury going retrograde end of November, I think November 25th. But the good news is Saturn is going to go direct. So, but the whole point, when those planets change directions, we feel the energies more because they're kind of shifting. So, because they are, kind of stuck, they can't move. So, we cannot express those energies in a better way. We feel stuck with them. I think that's the thing with them. So, and we feel them a lot, like 5 days before, 5 days after. So, and because this month we have a lot of changes, we're going to feel more maybe kind of stuck and not knowing how to use them. So you mentioned we started with connecting with somebody, reflecting. So what else would we tell our viewers would be good for this? A lot of people, yeah, isolation is number one. Don't do isolations a lot, right? So you need to kind of have somebody with you, because when you're alone, you go to dark places. So connect with somebody. um do you feel that people during Scorpio season maybe could reach to some spiritual guidance? Is it astrology or some shamanic work or something? What do you feel? Because Scorpio does rule esoteric. um
It does, yeah. I think also, so linked to that, it should be the processing. We need time to
mm,
process, and again, this is for me personally. You tend to think back last year, then you might think back the year before. Certainly people are still talking about COVID. The 2021 was a horrific
yeah.
year in November for us personally as well. And also in this country, I don't think there was a month that I knew of that had so many people passing away. It was definitely this time of
Mhm.
year going into November. Um, and we need time to process it. And there is no set
Mhm.
time. Even though people say grief can last about 3 years, it's different for everyone. Um, Everyone's in survival mode at the minute because of the way the world is. The financial situation of the countries, politics, all the external stuff. However,
Yeah.
people still feel like they're in survival mode. So when do they get time to process? You know,
Yeah, and time for hope. You don't forget hope. I always feel like, people feel so desperate, like there's no way out. There's no, like, everything is, dark, the wars, the everything, but there's always hope. Think about Pandora's. I know I'm very optimistic. They call me optimistic astrologer. Somebody tells me that very, but there is like a story of Pandora, right? She opened, like she was not supposed to touch the box. She opened, all the bad stuff came out, and she closed the door, but hope was there. So she's still there. We just need to open again the box to let the hope up out,
so
right? I think,
she opened it and processed it, right?
yeah. And then she closed the hope in the box again. But then, but it's still there. It's not gone. So we need to find a way to access that feeling of
Yeah.
of, of a
And
brighter future.
again, if you're into astrology, you can then see after the
Yeah.
retrogrades, where the story goes, and
Yes.
obviously it applies differently to everyone based on their natal chart. However, that is the hope. The hope is in the chart.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Yes. Oh, I love that. That's it. Beautiful. That's what it is. That's what Pandora left in her box, her natal chart. No, but I do. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So another way to go through this maybe dark period or more heavy period is to definitely, if you're curious enough, please go research your astrology. It's such a revealing. I don't know. Don't dismiss it before you give it a chance. That's what I would say, right? It can be so fulfilling, so rewarding. I don't know. I can't find the
It's
right English.
intriguing. I find it intriguing. Like I want to
Uh,
know more, So
Absolutely. The
it's like
layers and
discovery.
layers.
Yeah. What's next?
But
What's going to happen next?
yeah, but just knowing your moon is like very important for me. Number one is knowing your moon and people around you, their moons, because you're just gonna have better, more empathy, more understanding, more kindness to yourself as well, right? And towards others, to understand how what does make you feel secure and safe, and who are the people around you. So, and another thing that I would suggest to people, you're not alone. Like, many people are going through the same things, right? So if you cannot connect with somebody already in your life, maybe find somebody new who goes through the same things. Like those support groups are very helpful if you're going through any type of trouble. I find, I never went to a support group, but so many people are telling me that they had such benefits from support groups. Either you lost somebody or you just feel you want to connect, in any way. So that would be another suggestion.
Definitely. Yeah. Again, so connecting, processing, and sharing, just
Hmm.
very basic things, aren't they? Very basic human things that we should be doing, but we're distracted by the everyday, the
Yeah.
everyday stuff.
Another suggestion, for every amount of news that you watch and all this negativity, take the same amount and try to fill your head with something nice.
That's right.
Okay. Because people just put all this information, scrolling news, this, that, and then you're filled, your head is full of this uh actual negativity, and that's why you feel bad.
Yeah.
Imagine drinking spoiled milk. You can't, your body won't feel. This is the same thing, you're literally putting spoiled milk in your head, and that's why you can't kind of function, right? So that's a good one. So yeah, what else would you say? How about physical activity? From the physical point of view, what people can do?
Um, I think just be gentle on yourself because again,
Hmm.
it's the seasons have changed. Do what feels right to you. Don't not do anything. You know. Um, Again, everyone's different. Depending on your age, but reconnect with yourself. See what you like. What kind of physical stuff that you like to do, whether it's yoga, dancing, whatever. There's so many
Mm.
things out there, Jasmine, and you know that. There's
Yeah,
meditation.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
everything's there. It's just having
Hmm.
the self-awareness, because
Mm.
not everyone knows that they're depressed as well.
Yes.
So, and we can tell people do this, but it doesn't mean that they can do it. Sometimes they literally cannot.
Yeah.
They're not process enough to do it.
Yeah, if anybody can cry, I would suggest crying. I love to cry, although I'm very optimistic and cheerful. I love to cry. I find it so releasing. I find it empowering. I find it, I can't tell you. It's such a, like a gift that I can cry and let it all out, not having in me, because you know all that heaviness that you're talking about can come from just being stuck in you and not having that release somehow. So cry, go
That's right.
run. But no, but I find crying very rewarding, and very, connected with, in a spiritual way. It's very, I don't know. I can't explain it. I really,
Mhm.
I'm a weird moon in Gemini, but mine is in a balsamic face. Maybe that's why I like crying. Maybe there's a connection
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
So tell me more. You mentioned Diwali, like it's a festival of lights. So how can people like just people can read about it, learn about it? Where can we learn about more about that? That sounds like a fun thing to know more about. For
Yeah.
example.
Well, Diwali, I think it's, you know, there's so many cultures that have their own stories
Mm.
behind the festivals and the celebrations. And like you said before as well, they involve candlelight or just lights or
Yeah.
fireworks, and the same like with the Day of the Dead.
Hmm.
There's so many different cultures, and perhaps that's a nice distraction for this time of year as well, and something to look forward to. And it's also like celebrating your ancestors.
Yeah.
So it can be very personal to you. Lighting a candle in itself is
Mm.
is such a personal thing. Think
Mm.
about when we light the birthday candles and make a wish, and there's so many reasons why we light candles, and the thoughts that we
Yeah.
process when we're lighting them. And we very rarely want to blow the candle out. You know,
Yes. That
we
is
want
so
light.
true.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm not a practitioner, a Catholic practitioner, but I always, have a candle and I light a candle for the people who are passed away from my life, and and for their day of passing and for their birthday. I do it twice a year just because it's celebrating the life they had here, and the day when they transcended. So that's a good thing. So this whole Scorpio season is about celebration of
Yes.
where you're coming from, your ancestry, as you mentioned. So we should look at it that way. Not thinking about death in a bad way, but death as something that is just that we are transcending in a different form, right? We are just not here. So um, that's interesting.
Yeah.
How to look at the death in a more conscious way, in a more positive way.
Well, this is it, isn't it? We're in the season
Mm,
that we might not like it, but we have to, approach it as it presents itself. So, yeah, you have to process the death. You have to talk about it. You have to talk
yeah.
about all the bad stuff, the dark stuff, the deep stuff, but then know that you've got the light there as well to help you through. And it, again, with Diwali, lighting the candles, the community comes together. It's a community
Mm.
effort. It's a connection, you know.
And yes, and hug, guys, hug. I people don't hug enough. That's what I feel.
100%, I agree with you. Yeah.
It's as simple as a hug,
Yeah.
and I know some people struggle with hugs. I would encourage them to hug longer.
Yes.
Take at least 12 seconds. No, it's just not like this, but then hug and hold somebody in your arms. I think even get a pet. If to connect with some, like, a pet is a good thing as well. Yeah, that's very good. And Steve always says there is no light without a dark, right? So so
That's
we have
right.
to embrace both of those parts of ourselves. And yeah, I like that. Excellent. Look at all our advice is hugging, kissing, no, kissing, I didn't say kiss, hugging, crying,
Yeah.
connecting. Yeah. uh, so but many people do feel lonely, and they feel that they don't have a community. So where should they look? Where should they, um, physically, maybe in their neighborhoods or something? What do you feel? I know we live in a different worlds and different countries, but what would you suggest? Just because some people just don't feel they don't have that community to lean onto.
Yeah, that's right. But I think, okay, so it works both ways, right? And
Yeah.
I know it's difficult when you,
Mm,
'cause I'm a very straightforward person, so you might not like it when I say something, but you have to make the effort 50-50.
mm,
And I'm just as bad, okay?
yeah.
Because you know, you know my ascendant, so I'm more than
Yeah.
happy to be isolated. However, I also know it's
Um,
my own fault if I don't make
Reach out.
50%. Yeah, just 50%. It doesn't have to be every day, you know, or you can do something for someone, volunteer.
Oh, yes.
If
That's
that makes
perfect.
you feel better and you don't feel that you're giving away your power, or you don't feel
Mm.
embarrassed asking for help, you go and volunteer. Go do something for someone else, you
Oh,
know?
that's beautiful. That's, just even step out of your home and look around you. Who are your first door neighbors? That's start from there.
Yeah,
Literally, if you can't find anybody, there's a neighbor across. If you don't like this one, maybe there's this one
I
across the
don't.
street. I know. Maybe people have this, but there's a one across the
Yeah,
street, and then yeah, it doesn't have to be first one here, but you can start from there. It's just open the door of your home, look around, and see, and then just smile and say hi. That's a good start. You don't have to do
right.
anything, and you will feel better. I promise you. If you just go for a walk and smile to a stranger and say hi, how are you, it's fulfilling. It's just I take walks every day. I always smile, and I feel just it's just a sense of community, just like by walking and smiling at somebody, even if I don't know what are they names, or what are they doing. It makes you
I
feel
think
very, very nice.
we've been here before, again, during the
Yeah,
COVID times, the pandemic. Look at what it's done to us. You know,
yeah,
what why have we forgotten to say hello or to nod your head, or, you know,
yeah,
we can come out of it now. We don't need
absolutely,
permission from the government to tell you what to do anymore. We need to
absolutely.
start retraining the psychology of it again.
Yeah, absolutely,
You
I
know?
agree.
We've got
There's so
Mercury in
many.
Scorpio, haven't we? So
Yeah.
again, the psychology. Juno's going into Scorpio, isn't it? So relationships.
Yes, yes. But Mercury is going to go to Sag soon, just next week. But still, there's still this Scorpio sense, and then yeah, and Juno is coming. So Juno will want this intimate connection, not superficial. So you will, but start just by saying hi. I like that. But just by smiling, or even you don't have to say anything. Just smile. You're gonna feel better. Forget about the other person. Even if they don't smile back, you're gonna feel better about yourself, right?
And,
Right?
and the other
Wow.
side to that I've seen this past week is people misbehaving. The other side of Scorpio, where people don't have patience. Something this morning happened. We ordered an Uber. He couldn't wait 2 minutes, and he just drove off. And I
That's so
just thought,
rude.
yeah, I thought, really?
Yeah.
Why? Just wait, and it doesn't cost you that much. So the patience has gone from people. I just
Yeah.
feel everyone's very short-tempered at the
Mhm.
moment.
Yeah. We need to slow down. That's what the
Yeah,
retrogrades are telling us, right? That's what we talked about earlier. You need to slow down. My dad always says, "Step on the ball." It's a soccer. I know your guys, your boys do soccer, so you know the soccer reference. Step on the ball before, and then you look what you want to do with your next move, right?
that's
But you
right.
need that time to slow and put the foot on the ball. Otherwise, you don't know where you're going or who you're gonna hit if you just go
Even
around the soccer field like a crazy person, right? So you often get you put the ball into your own net, and then that's what it is.
that's right.
So yeah, so it's time to slow down, time to really, yeah, it's a good point. So see, work on our patience. We all should work on our patience. I 100% agree. I'm the first one. Just not having patience, like, oh, I do this and quickly. We need to do things more slowly. uh,
That's
that's also, I just, my husband sent me the other day something on Instagram, because I'm always so fast, and I get nervous, and he said, look at this video, and this lady said, the cheapest and the fastest way to slow down your nervous system, because we also going to have Mercury opposing Uranus for this new moon, which is anxiety and nervousness highlighted, is just do things slowly instead of hoovering like this. Hoover like this. Nah. And not literally, instead of doing dishes, do the dishes,
I'm
right?
laughing because my son, we've just bought this cordless Hoover, and he was so gentle with it. And he said, "Mum, this time can we not bang the edges of the the brush?" And I looked at him and I thought, but I'm so aggressive with the Hoover.
Yeah, but maybe all because we don't have the time. Let's
No,
just finish it fast. But that's the whole. Everything you do, just do it a little bit slower. It's hard for some signs. I understand that Aries might have a problem with that, or Gemini's, or But in general, if it just calms your nervous system automatically,
yeah,
and it's a self-regulation kind of a tip. So that's a good tip for
that's
this
it.
as well.
Very basic, just very
Basic.
basic things. Reconnecting with yourself and being aware. So now I'm aware that when I'm hoovering, I should not be aggressive.
See,
You know,
yeah. But the
uh,
thing is, we forgot how to reconnect with ourselves. We are in such a material faced paced world with all this technology, all these things that we really just we forgot. That's the problem. We need to rediscover. I will use that word, rediscover how to connect with ourselves, with nature. Going to basics, as you said. How many people can't sew a button? Like,
that's
do
right.
that because it requires a lot of patience, right? So nobody does it anymore. They just buy a new shirt, which is right.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Basic
Anyway,
things.
yeah,
Um,
basic things. Please tell us more. What do you have?
yes.
What do you want to say?
I just wanted to highlight just Mars in Cancer, really.
Okay.
Just because of what's been said in the world, obviously, in terms of Mars being, very fiery, energy, aggression. Um, there's so many things that we can see in the news related to that. And then Cancer being the family, the home, the public space, the feminine, and just how that's kind of influencing us, because I think it's for a good 6 months, isn't it? Of
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
It's going to move into Leo now in November. It's going to be in Leo in November, but then it's going to go back in Cancer somewhere, I think, end of the year, and then it's going to be there until I don't know, April, March, April.
yeah,
Yeah,
everything will start going forwards in April. Yeah, around April time,
yeah,
in terms of the retrograde planets. But it's such a process, and combined with Pluto and Mars, with everything Pluto's
yeah.
doing and everything that Mars is doing, but it's not happy where it is. It's
They are now at the last degrees. They are 29 degrees Cancer and 29 degrees of Capricorn. So that's the last anaretic degree. Very powerful, very potent. Like, imagine all the energy just in this, and it wants to burst. It wants to kind of finish up before, when you do something and you wanna make sure you did everything at the end, like you're doing a test, and then and in the end you just go through all of this. It's that kind of an energy. I need to go. So it's very, instead of just going slowly through one page, it's like that. So they
yeah,
they want to make sure they finish their job. So Pluto, after 20 something years, he really wants to know that he wants to finish his job, and he's going back to Aquarius, I think, mid-November. That's it. No more Capricorn for next 250
yeah,
years. So he really wants to finish it up. Like Mars is going to have another shot when he goes retrograde. So he's maybe not that eager, but Mars, and Mars in Capricorn. Governments, regulations, rules, authority. What is put on us, all these boundaries, limitations.
yeah. Women's health as well. There's a
Oh
lot
yeah,
going on with women's bodies, and
yeah,
Mars being the aggressor, and aggressive policies. Things happening with women in different countries.
yeah,
Like I said, there's so much that we can read and see that's going on
yeah.
with
And
them. So
now that you mentioned female body, it's Scorpio season is about our reproductive system, and part of our bodies. It's ruled by Scorpio, so it's really on point, to be honest. What you're saying, yeah, to having and it's about control. Scorpio having control now. No control of our own bodies. It's terrifying, terrifying,
absolutely. But there
terrifying.
is an opposition, isn't there, with Pluto in Aquarius,
Yeah,
with Mars in
coming.
Leo. Yes,
Yes,
that will be different. So
very
that's something
different.
to look forward to, I think.
Me
You
too.
know, once we're
You
done
co-
with November, things will shift in December
Yeah.
through into the new year,
Yeah.
so let's just
Yeah. I
get
mean,
through,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I mean, Saturn and Neptune are going also into Aries next spring. I mean, they're going to go back, but still, there's this sense of change. So this is like wrapping up before, before things change. So it's very dramatic, at least. Yeah. But thank you, Anu. Any last thoughts, words of encouragement, or do you want to reveal your something? One of your big threes? No. Okay.
Um,
No.
no.
Okay. You don't have to. Okay, I like that. So, final thoughts.
Okay, final thoughts. Let's just get through November and try
Okay.
to understand the energy. It is heavy, it is dense, but we ain't going to do it now. So let's just sit in it, process it. It's
Mm,
time for endings. We need to finish off,
mm,
some of the stuff that we haven't dealt with. Perhaps what the eclipse season hasn't allowed us to process. And
yeah.
once that's done, I just feel that let's see what the Scorpio new moon brings us. And then into Sagittarius, obviously, Mercury will be messing about a little bit. Um,
But it's fun. He's
yeah,
fun. He's fun. He likes to just, play tricks. So
exactly.
it's not heavy. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah, stay connected with people, and let's just get through this year. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I'm so happy that we had this conversation. I hope, guys, you find this very helpful and useful. And if you have any comments or questions, please put in the comments below. Before we close, I know, where can people find you? I know you're doing readings and everything. Where can people find you for an astrology reading?
Yes, so just on my website, really. So Anoo Bailey, holistictherapies.com. I can give you the link later if you like.
Yes, please. I'm going to put it in the description below. And yes, you know where to find me. Just astrology.com. Please subscribe and share because we just want to put the word of astrology out there and help people. So that's the main reason for it. Thank you very much. Happy Scorpio season, everybody. And don't give up. Scorpio is a fighter.
Absolutely.
Bye, Anu. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.